Thank you for joining us for another episode of Exposing Scientology, where we reveal what really goes on inside this business masquerading as a church. Hi, everyone. I wanted to do just a short video to highlight something that came across my desk. Actually, it came in my mailbox just a couple of days ago. And it is something that really shows the efforts of Scientology in the Clearwater community seeking to gain what Hubbard called safe points. A safe point is someone who is a defender of or an ally to Scientology and who acts as a reference, a buffer, a advocate for Scientology, rather than Scientology having to do it for themselves. In other words, if you get someone who what Scientology calls ally, meaning they become your partner in some fashion, or agree with or participate in programs that Scientology does, those people will defend Scientology and create a perimeter around the Scientology organization, which protects it. And the idea is you get as many of these safe points as you can. And if you build up enough of them and they're important enough people, you will be able to operate with impunity. And there will be no threat to the operations of the Scientology in that particular zone. There are people designated in the Office of Special Affairs to conduct these sort of programs. In Clearwater, it is Pat Harney and Lisa Mansell. And Pat Harney and Lisa Mansell go around and try and get local people to participate in Scientology programs, to get briefed on what Scientology is doing in the community and their programs around the world. A lot of it is complete made up stories and staged videos and photo ops, but nevertheless these two spent a lot of time working on this, and they have a little group of local Scientology OSA volunteers, basically led by Joni Siegel, who is a sort of a surrogate OSA PR person, even though she's not a Sea Org member. They appear at local events. They try and involve themselves in the community. And every now and then you see a picture of Pat Harney or Lisa Mansell with some local member of the Clearwater establishment, hobnobbing with them in some fashion. And I have seen this in various issues of Tampa Bay magazine over the last 5 years. Tampa Bay magazine is what you see in a lot of large cities, a glossy magazine that just is a sort of puff piece for the local community. It contains, ads for lawyers, and the lawyers are the ones who write columns for the magazine. Ads for restaurants, and the restaurants get reviewed by the magazine. Ads for, beauty shops, and the beauty shops get mentioned in the magazine. It's and the other thing that they do a lot of is real estate, homes, and the big they feature these beautiful homes in the local area, and the big Keller Williams and those sort of realtors advertise, take out full page ads in the magazine, and they are the people that basically list those sort of properties. The new edition of Tampa Bay Magazine came out, and I was very surprised when I went through it because it is basically the Tampa Bay Magazine Scientology edition. Scientology rolled out their big gun. The wealthiest Scientologist in the Clearwater area is Trish Duggan, the former wife of Bob Duggan, the multi-billionaire who made a fortune developing drugs, medical drugs, and then selling the company that developed those. Trish Duggan has become a relatively prominent member of the Pinellas County. Pinellas County is the county in which Clearwater is located, because she has invested a lot of money in opening a glass museum in St. Petersburg. And she is some sort of a glass artist herself, using glass somehow. I don't really understand how that works. I've never visited her museum, but somehow or another, the Tampa Bay Magazine got Trish Duggan, or Trish Duggan got the Tampa Bay Magazine to feature her. And along with featuring Trish Duggan, there is a whole bunch of other stuff about Scientology in this particular magazine. And I'm going to go through it and show it to you and call out the names of the people who are enabling Scientology. Because right there in the Fort Harrison, there is ongoing daily abuse of people. There is visa fraud happening. There is human trafficking happening. There is families. There are families that are being broken up. There are people that are being tricked into taking out credit cards that they shouldn't really be taking out. The litany of abuses that happen in Scientology, that if you are an observer of the Scientology world, you understand what those things are. They're happening right here in Clearwater, in the Fort Harrison Hotel. And so the fact that this magazine and a lot of people that are mentioned in there are normalizing Scientology as if the activities of Scientology aren't any different from the activities of anybody else, and the Lisa Mansell and Pat Harneys of the world are no different than the heads of the local church groups that do volunteer work helping the homeless, is a travesty. And I find it hard to believe that there are people at this point in the history of Scientology in Clearwater who are willing to have their names publicly put out as being supporters of Scientology, or at the very least participating in their activities. I have listed all of these people that are named in this magazine and detailed them on my blog. There is a link to the blog underneath in the description of this particular video, along with the pages that I'm going to show you here, so that there is a record made of these people and that everybody knows who it is that are the enablers of Scientology. Okay, let's just start here with the cover of this edition of Tampa Bay Magazine. This is a piece of artwork, apparently, from Trish Duggan. As you can see here on the cover, this sculpture by Trish Duggan was inspired by our Florida beaches and these many different shells. I don't get exactly how that's a sculpture, but whatever. That's Trish Duggan, and I've highlighted on the index page a number of things about Scientology, but we're going to go through them all anyway. Okay, so we start here with Joni Siegel, the aforementioned Joni Siegel, who is in the little red box on the left, the short one, and she held some sort of fashion show, and there is a whole bunch of women listed here who apparently participated in that. So I listed them all on my blog because they are all helping to enable Scientology in Clearwater. Then there is the sort of puff piece article. They don't really do articles in this. They take whatever the person told them and just put it there. She talks about her international human rights campaigns and freeing the world from drugs. Clearly, the Scientology 4D campaigns that she is referring to. And then there is a bunch of stuff about where she grew up and where she went to school. And the article really doesn't say anything. And it doesn't even mention the word Scientology. Okay. Then there is an article in the real estate section about the grand opening of a new apartment complex. This apartment complex was funded by and is was brought into reality by Scientologist Moises Agami. And you can see him in the top right picture. He and his wife were the developers of this particular property. The top left picture is Trish Duggan and Tom Cruise's sister, Cass Capozorio. Cass Capozorio is married to Greg Capozorio, one of the IES Freedom Medal winners. And then the middle picture is of a local artist, not identified as a Scientologist, but she is definitely a Scientologist, who has some art gallery on Cleveland Street and is one of the people that Scientology uses to say, this downtown business person is totally supportive of David Miscavige's plans to revitalize the downtown of Clearwater. Next one. Oh, they have a whole page about Winter Wonderland. This says, and I've highlighted this, it is open to everyone in the Tampa Bay area, after going on about Mr. and Mrs. Claus and entertainment for the children. And blah, blah. This is not open to everyone in the Tampa Bay area. It is certainly not open to me. It is not open to anybody else Scientology doesn't like, including City Councilman Mark Bunker. This is the location of Winter Wonderland is the park that Mark Bunker sat on the bench in the Aftermath episode, and Scientology called the Clearwater Police Department to have him evicted from that park. And he was sitting there quietly, doing nothing, not talking to anybody. There wasn't even anybody else in the park, but he was evicted. You can see I also highlighted that donations are going to be given to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Police Athletic League. This appears, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office appears on quite a number of times in the references about what Scientology is doing and how they are helping with these charitable activities, giving money to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department and Winter Wonderland. Okay, here we go again. This is now Lisa Mansell on the social pages of this, pictured with the head of the Frank Chivas, the head of the Baystar Restaurant Group. And you'll see a little more about this shortly. Frank Chivas is another enabler of Scientology. And this is why we see Frank Chivas here. Another page, Chef's Showcase. And this is written by Margaret Wood Burnside and Aaron R. Fodeman. Those two are the publisher and editors of this particular magazine, and they are In fact, the biggest enablers of Scientology gaining normalcy or seeking to gain normalcy in Clearwater, because this is their magazine and they put all this together. Lo and behold, it turns out, this is the text below that picture. Once again, the Church of Scientology Flag Service Organization teamed up with Tampa Bay Magazine to present a chef's showcase fundraiser in the Crystal Ballroom of the historic Fort Harrison in downtown Clearwater. Oh my God. These people are actually teaming up with Scientology. So, yeah, and you get to the end of the article and it says, if you'd like interested in receiving an invitation to future dinners, call Lisa Mansell or Tampa Bay Magazine. So this is, oh, I want to get out of this. Sorry. This is highlighting, and I have highlighted on my blog, the people who are, for whatever reason, and I really don't know why, making Scientology acceptable in Clearwater, using this magazine as a mouthpiece to promote the programs that they are doing to try and Safepoint. It's sad. These people should not be doing this. They should not be associating themselves with an organization that is engaged in human trafficking and breaking up families. I'm bringing it to everyone's attention so that it can be made obvious to all concerned. And hopefully some of these people will see the light and decide that they aren't going to participate in future activities such as this. That was the entire point of this little video, just something to coincide with the article that I'm going to put up on my blog. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back actually on tomorrow night, Mark and Claire and Christy and I, talking about Scientology's shift with respect to disconnection. It's fascinating. See you all then. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.